From brooding gulfs are we beheld, by that which bears no name. Its heralds are the stars it fells, the sky and earth aflame. Corporeal laws are unwrit, as suns and love retreat. To cosmic madness laws submit, though stalwart minds entreat. In luminous space blackened stars, they gaze, accuse, deny, rolling moaning this realm of ours. In madness lost shall die. Carrion hordes trill their profane, accord with eldritch plans, to cosmic forms from tangent planes. We end as we began.
After years of ridicule, Albrecht and Trotty believed there was something beyond this space. He believed through all the hubris of the Orcan that their perfect knowledge could not be complete. He knew there was more. He just didn't know how much. After being pushed to the edge by much of the Orcan, in a last-ditch attempt he would open a portal. The wall of Locke, a wall of pure light in his laboratory, entering this void himself. Upon entering, the diving bell that he trusted with his safety was sheared in half, causing him to tumble inside of the void, completely helpless. Whilst floating in this dimension, he came across what seemed to be a section of his laboratory. Now crawling on the floor of this version, he looked up expecting to see his daughter, only to be met with himself, a double, a doppelganger, who referred to him as Little Bengal. This being said the name Albrecht was given by his mother during childhood. The intimacy of it, the impossibility of it, how could this thing know? Panic gripped Albrecht as he hurried towards the gate. The feeling of being chased was too much. Not just chased, understood. Seen in a way that made his skin want to crawl off his bones. Stumbling through the portal, blinded by the light of the void and slashed open by the gate, Albrecht, unable to speak, wrote in his own blood on the floor, "Close it." With that, his daughter Eularia slammed the gate shut, slicing fingers off of the entity that reached through it. Think about that for a moment. The audacity of reaching through. The casual violation of everything the Orcan believed about the nature of reality. After this discovery, the digits cut off from that entity would be studied by the Orcan, and subsequent expeditions to the void caused no further interactions with the being. But here's what's particularly fascinating. Albrecht, still scarred by the event, would contemplate whether or not he was the double. The question that would haunt him: what if the thing that came back wasn't him at all? Therefore, he would never take part in continuity again, with the fear that he was a double. This body would be his last body, and he would die along with it, forsaking that man trapped in the wall. It'd be too explanatory to explain this being as an enigma. It'd be too arrogant to believe we know anything about it. This vile indifference. This nothing. This everything. In an endless dimension best explained as the vast untime, not much is known about the void nor about the effects of its prolonged exposure. It has provided sentience, consciousness, power. This unspace is where this inexplicable being lies. Never waiting, only watching, all time, all the time. That's the underlying mechanism here that reveals why the man in the wall might be one of the most powerful entities we've encountered in fiction. How far do his abilities go? Starting with the most prevalent, it is capable of mimicry. Numerous times throughout Warframe, we have seen the indifference take different forms, whether that be of the Tenno or another familiar. But notice what happens when we examine this closer. It's not just copying appearance, it's accessing something deeper: memory, identity, the fundamental data of what makes you, you. It can also read minds, potentially even tell the future. It also knows things about you that you don't. Time travel, unlimited energy, instantaneous movement, matter manipulation, mind control, reality manipulation. We'd be here all day if I explained his abilities like that. So let's talk about what's really happening here. Conceptual embodiment. This is where it gets genuinely terrifying. Conceptual embodiment isn't just another power on a list. It's the core ability that may allow the indifference to do not only everything, but anything. There's a crucial distinction there that most people miss. Everything implies all possibilities within a system. Anything transcends the system itself. Now combine this with eternalism, the physics concept that Warframe has woven into its deepest lore. In eternalism, all moments in time exist simultaneously. Past, present, and future are human constructs. From a higher dimensional perspective, your entire timeline is visible at once, looking like a comic strip laid out on a table, every panel, every moment, existing simultaneously. The man in the wall theoretically doesn't experience time like we do. It experiences all time. When I say it has no limit three-dimensional beings can perceive, I mean that literally. We're talking about an entity that exists on a fundamentally different playing field entirely, watching us like a 2D cartoon on a screen, able to fast forward, rewind, and pause at will. Which brings us to the genuinely unsettling implication. When we foil its plans, we are likely on a predetermined course. Every victory against it might just be another scene on a script it's already read. Think about that. Every time you thought you won, every time the Tenno prevailed, what if that was always a part of the plan? But here's what the conventional wisdom overlooks. If the man in the wall operates from this eternalist perspective, then its defeats aren't defeats at all. They're just moments, points on a timeline it can access at will. From its perspective, it hasn't lost the game, because the game never ends. It just is. The fingers that were cut off when Eularia slammed the gate, still reaching through somewhere in the eternal now. Albrecht's escape, still happening, still not happening, has happened, will happen, didn't happen. The grammar breaks down because our language wasn't built for this, and this fundamentally shifts how we understand the threat it poses. We're not dealing with a villain that wants to conquer or destroy in any conventional sense. We're dealing with something that exists outside of our concept of wanting altogether. It doesn't desire, it simply is. And what it is wrong. Wrong in a way that makes reality itch. Because here's what I've observed consistently. When a narrative introduces an entity with conceptual embodiment and eternalist principles, it's not just creating a powerful antagonist. It's asking a question about the nature of existence itself. And in Warframe's case, that question might be, what happens when the thing watching from outside the screen starts reaching through? The deeper implication becomes clear when we consider what the man in the wall represents within Warframe's broader mythology. This isn't just another boss to defeat. This is the fundamental challenge to everything the Orokin built, everything the Tenno fight for, everything that makes the origin system comprehensible. Remember, the Orokin in all their arrogance believed they had mastered reality. They had conquered death through continuity. They had bent the very laws of physics to their will. And then Albrecht opened a door and found something that made all of that look like child's play. The man in the wall doesn't just threaten the characters in Warframe. It threatens the coherence of the story itself. It's the glitch in the Matrix, the thing that shouldn't be there, the error message written in blood on the laboratory floor. And maybe, just maybe, it's been guiding everything from the very beginning. Ponder this. Every time we log in, every time we control our Warframes, aren't we also entities existing outside their reality, reaching in, manipulating events? The parallels are too deliberate to ignore. We are, in a very real sense, doing exactly what the man in the wall does. Watching, controlling, existing outside their time. What is the true potential of the indifference? I would say the same as our impact on the Warframe universe. Makes you wonder who the real indifference is.